to this live stream on this Friday. Could be morning, could be afternoon, depends on where you're coming from. So we're gonna be on here. We're gonna try to get it. We're gonna definitely try to get it. We're on here for a little while. See what kind of vibe I get. Let's see what we got. See what we're working on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. See what we got so far. So we're gonna get to it. We are live. And Q&A. See what we got so far. Get this thing going. See what we got. We getting started out here. We're gonna be on here live. We're gonna see. Started now. We're getting this thing going now. Putting this thing out here trajectory. We're gonna see what we're working with. We are live and in color. So we're gonna see what we're working with. Hope that you can come through. Hopefully we'll see what the questions are. I'm just starting off right now, just getting some stuff going. sending out links right now. That's what's up. We'll be talking about Smokey Robinson just a little bit, just out here, just getting started. Um, this Friday afternoon, morning, late evening, or early Saturday, depends on where you are in the world. We're just getting everything going so far. So we're gonna talk about things. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. Hello, and how are you today? We're going to see what we're doing today. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Smokey Robinson, one of the greatest songwriters ever, and of course now you know about the whole allegations and stuff going on. Does that change you from listening to his music? Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. Let's get into it. Coming to you live today. Hope you're having a good day. Some people listen to these allegations. Some people run with them, and they don't want to touch a said artist anymore. Some people, it's indifferent. It all depends on where you are. Hello there. How you doing? Keanu Reeves, huh? It's not every day I see that name. Matrix. That's a cool name. That's a cool name. Yeah, welcome aboard, whoever's coming through. Please hit the like. Feel free to hit the poll question. Um, we can talk about whatever. We're just starting out here today. Um, fresh and early. And I did send out some information to different people, so we are sending it out today. We'll put the information out there. So let's just see how it goes. We are live today. Hope you're having a good day. And I decided to go where, I'm not afraid to go into the controversial because it's definitely a biggie. $50 million suit. Is it true? Is it not? Does it change of how you listen to him? Sometimes you have to go in there and ask. Smokey Robinson, 85 years old, so you want to know. But regardless, does it change if you listen to him or not? I don't cancel nobody. So I'm the wrong person. I've never canceled an artist that I liked. I didn't look at them maybe quite the same, but I didn't cancel them. I spent too much money back in the day buying records when I did buy them. I don't buy nothing no more, and I'll make no apologies about it because it's too. First of all, the artists don't get the money, and second of all, it's such a janky business, so I don't do that. But anyway, I thought I'd pose the question and ask people where they sit on this said topic. So we'll go from there. So it makes for an interesting discussion. So that's interesting. We shall see. But anyway, if you're on here, feel free to come through. Um, Looking forward to conversation. I'm trying to figure out why my thing is not moving in sync. Sometimes it moves in sync, sometimes it don't. But anyway, we are live here, so feel free to come on through. I will be here as long as I see people coming through. So my plan is to definitely an hour at least. If it's not too much going on, half, but we'll see what's up. I just coming on. I know it takes a little time for people to get percolating. People got a lot going on. It is the weekend starting out. we're just here right now. We're just kind of like fishing through. I'm just kind of like sorting out everything. Just trying to get everything kind of lined up. So syncing everything. Hmm. See what we got going on. So we're just kind of taking it easy right now. We're just gonna kind of flow on with this. Starting off early. Hope everybody's having a good day though. Let's see what we got. If Boston is gonna play stupid, they gonna win the series. That's what I got to say. If Boston gonna play stupid and dumb, the Knicks are gonna finish the series. Cause it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that hey, y'all keep chugging that ball up 50 times a game and you don't make but like 10 of them, and you wear yourself out. You don't deserve to win. And the thing about it is, I know Boston is the better talent on paper team, but they're dumb. Just dumb basketball. And blow two games like that, that's embarrassing. Especially if you're a world championship team and you got two of the 15 best players on your team. There's no rhyme or reason for that. So I don't, I don't, I don't co-sign that. All your favorites are not to be seen. What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Is that pertaining to Smokey Robinson or is that pertaining to something else? Let me know. That's kind of ominous. I just kind of wonder what that means. Feel free to share though. I welcome the comments though. But the Knicks are gonna be tough to beat. That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Boston really put themselves. They got to win the next game, and they got to figure out how to win. If they win, then the series is. They know they can win, but they didn't messed up so bad. I mean, that's just people are split 50-50 on Smokey Robinson. Interesting. I ain't never split on nobody. I mean, if I liked your music, I liked your music. He might be by some. I mean, that's some pretty serious weight if it comes to pass. You know what people who don't want to admit is this: no one just throws out a number without there being something. Because 50 mil is a chunk. I think he's the greatest songwriter ever, so I'm never gonna cancel him. However, um, do I believe there's some truth to it? Could there be? Yeah, there could always be truth. Stop acting like you know these folks, because I don't know nothing. I know about his book back in the '80s when he was doing that cracky crack, and he was out there. So you never know what's out there. You know, when the money's good, you don't know. You know, it's an industry that's very demonic. Uh, all kinds of things happen. People get passed around shares. So would I be surprised about anything? No. When I was a kid, you could have got me up on a lot of stuff. Can't get me up on it no more, because I ain't seen a lot and heard a lot in all forms of. be it music, sports, politics. Hey, it's just a matter of what comes out the stick. But I wouldn't be surprised about none of it, because I don't. I know none of these folks. You just know them by the name, and you see that they fall into a certain category. I know one thing: Smokey is a street cat. I know that. He's not no softy, so he don't be playing. He got a nice soft image. I'll say this too. Who was it that came out and said it was Kwame Brown? I was watching his live stream, and Kwame Brown had something good that he said. He said, "I don't want to be this nice guy that you got to sell to middle America, because then if you do that and something comes out, then they pull all the endorsements off of you." And that's been the situation. So it's all corporate ran anyway, but you still got to pull the facade. It's just nothing but game, because it is marketing. And that doesn't indict you. That doesn't make you guilty. That doesn't say you innocent. It just means that that's the branding part of the game. That's the manipulation of the game. So we see it all the time. So that's all I'm looking at it as. You can look at it however you want. Somebody probably will, though. Do I think somebody will cancel him? Somebody probably be like looking at him, you know. And again, I didn't hear about some of these artists. I mean, some of the stuff that goes on. So you just, you'd be very surprised at who didn't come out with something about him, because everybody got something. Usually, they might not be as extremes as some other people, but there is extremes out here. So I'm not shocked nor surprised. We never hear about any female artists though. Mhm. But there's always something that goes on. So far, Smokey Robinson and the New York Knicks are hot topics. Interesting. All right, if you're on, feel free to come on through. Keep hit that poll up. I'm definitely smash up those likes. Looking forward to interaction today. I told people I was coming back today. I'll probably do tomorrow and maybe Sunday. I was away for yesterday, so I had a good setup the other day. We had a good base up. So we shall see. We shall see. Hope everybody's doing good though. It was an interesting comment that was earlier, so we just kind of just laying on the cut. And I tell people been getting the message that this live stream is on, so we are very much aware. Mhm. So let me do some looking on some things. No, because his situation is apparently he had four housekeepers. So apparently they were talking about they were worried about the Mexican women. They were worried about their status, and that Smokey was just getting Shannon Sharp situation is spread out over time, so they're different. It's just the same amount of money, but it's a different situation. Um, Shannon Sharpton got a reputation though for being strong arm. He's got a reputation, so his is predated. I heard about that situation in 2010, and then everything came back to the resurface. And he didn't kind of put himself in that situation by messing by them kind of women. I'm not saying that he necessarily did what was said, but he did have situations reoccurring. But well, no, men in that industry, it's real. It is real. I mean, that's a very it's the kind of industry where cats do take advantage of situations, and things happen, and it's a lot that goes on that you just couldn't imagine, that you wouldn't want to imagine. I think reality is who isn't like into it because there's so much that goes on, and it's a real meat market industry. I remember a few years ago when they had that whack Motown tribute on the Grammys, and Smokey was all excited that J Lo, Jeff Lopez was gonna perform on it. And I thought that was cringy right there. So and again, I don't know, but I know one thing. I seen him on stage. He be gyrating and cracks me up. He be wiggling on stage. I don't know what that means, but he be cracking me up though. But they're different though. The Shannon Sharp thing and Smokey is different, but it's you know would I believe that something like that could could be believable. Now I'm gonna say it like this: it's too often than not that black men are getting held out with it because then the white guys they don't say nothing. I ain't heard nobody come back on Jimmy Iovine or Garth Brooks. And Matt Lowry ain't nobody sitting about Matt Lowry. So that is problematic in terms of the balance. However, it is relevant and prevalent in that industry, though. There's a lot of freaky deaky tales. And not everybody black do they go after, because I ain't heard no more about L.A. Reid. That came and went. Russell Simmons has been fishy, but ain't nothing been reeled with that. So, it all depends on how you look at it. But yeah, there is a lot of situations you'd be surprised, and I've already told you in my previous videos in sports, you'd be surprised a lot of athletes that did stuff that the money because the commissioner made it go away, and they paid them to kind of with agents and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you don't hear about. That's what Cat Williams was going on about. So keep that in mind. Yeah, and he got divorced from Maria Shriver too. That came and went. But that was done pretty low key, and he paid off. That's not even the worst thing about that dude doing all them rides and all the stuff he did because he got hooked up. He got hooked up, and he played the ultra conservative. He's a trip out dude too. He's a trip out dude. But he got over. He got over in a real way. Dude couldn't even really say much in terms of intellect, but he became governor. Think about it. He ran with that Ronald Reagan thing. So it's crazy when I think about Schwarzenegger. But yeah, the baby, that was a known fact. But again, it's never, and that's not gonna work against nobody per se. That's not, as long as it's consensual. It's when you have other problems that are problematic. But only if they locked him up. If they came after him for criminal, but it's not the same. It is, but it's different. Let me explain. Cosby had crazy crossover appeal. Smokey was respected and with Motown and everything, but he didn't really blow up like I think as a music artist like Bill Cosby did. I might do a video about that. But as great as his songwriting is, his songs are bigger than him. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. I think that Cosby was a bigger act. Well, if it is, then why would they go after him though, of all people though? Why? See, I can understand it if you gotta find somebody that fits a certain narrative. But then I gotta kind of look at it like they obviously are going after a guy in particular for what though? And Smokey, this is the thing about Smokey. He's spoken out on stuff, but he never really was a divisive cat. You know, he spoke out. He talked real talk, but like when you listen to his music and stuff, I never felt like he was. It wasn't like Stevie or Marvin or Michael for that matter. Like he said something that you go, "Oh, Smokey was getting like that," or Curtis Mayfield, or Sly Stone. He was not a confrontational cat in the studio work. So, and if it's a shakedown, why? Why would they want? I don't think his bag is that deep. Not like that. I think he got a deep bag. I just don't think it's that kind of bag. So it's a lot of question marks there. You know, and I might not have really thought much about it if I didn't see the recent footage of him gyrating all on them stages, because he be pumping and moving, and that's not how he was when he was a younger cat. So I'm tripping off of that. Now I'm not saying that means that you done something, but it's the way he be going about it that you know. But I gotta wonder, is there something else? Now it ain't gonna change me from listening to him. Shoot, the songs are too much in the DNA. I go way back with Smokey. However, it comes down to a point where who isn't in that industry though, because it's a lot of freaky deaky. So that's the big question. Who ain't? Not who did it, but who ain't. And there's so few because they have to sell a certain imagery. But we shall see. We shall see. We like to think that there's a happy road at the end of the tunnel, so we shall see. far, we got some more results. 60% saying they still listen to him, so that's good. I like the fact I like to see the support. I mean, I think it's always something that goes on, but the totality and morality, and it's always important when I see if people still supporting artists. All right, thank you for everybody that's coming through so far. Please hit the likes. Feel free to come on out and talk, and if you got something to say, feel free to say it. We are coming to you live today. Smokey Robinson seems to be the center of conversation, so feel free to give me a listen. Welcome everybody that comes through. Put this one on for now. Waiting to see if people want to come through, and I'm just waiting. No, no. Tell you the truth, I don't know the whole story, but some of your friends say what Cosby and Shay said. It's just the four women that worked for him during the periods of time said that Smokey and his wife was putting it down and doing things. And it comes down to what you feel. It comes down to, about how you look at it. It doesn't change if I'm a fan or not of theirs. I'm going to tell you about Cosby and Shay Shay. The Cosby stuff was all true. He was at Playboy back in the day. He talked about drinks and things back in the day. So that wasn't nothing new. It did loan itself to when he talked about buying NBC and the money, and but he had already put stuff out there that he was paying, which was common. The only thing is that he hung out with Hefner, and Hefner got went through it, but Cosby was doing stuff. It wasn't no secret. It wasn't no secret with Cosby. It was pretty much open season, and it was, now I don't know if it was all the women that came that the whole time, but it was quite a few. That was no lie. As I can tell you, growing up, I had a family member who worked in the industry, and always used to say Cosby wasn't what you thought he was. So heard about that way back, way back. As far as Shay Shay, he's got all the trademarks of high strung athlete, aggressive, and he got track record with these women. So his track record is already in ensconced. So there's no makeup about those two. Depends on who you ask me and what the story is about certain people. But I can't tell you that these cats, all these cats, and it's widespread in the industry. If I keep it 100, most of the cats that they put a lot of money on, chances are there was something janky going on or something extra because they pushing agendas. And will people tell the truth? That remains to be seen. You want facts over fiction. Doesn't change me if I like them or not. Me and Shay Shay is hit and miss because I know old country cat. And he saw the money and he got the lifestyle and now he wearing his mouth. They should have told him to be cool and chill. Ran too much. ran with that. Cosby ain't said much since the situation, but it was like there was things there, you know. So more Smokey, I have to see if there's anything. I don't think it'll be anything that else comes out, but they, so we'll see. But yeah, there's a pattern with certain people. Um, Diddy's just one of many though. Diddy's one of many. I mean, they learned it from it, but they all got some association. You gotta remember something. He what? He entertainment industry is connection to politics and it's contrated to the sports world. So I'm just saying it's all connected. Everybody knows some of everybody. You know. So it's you know Diddy's situation is different because this evolves the parties and beyond. However, the beyond, I'm not buying that he's a Rico leader. I think that's a bit much. Got guilt or something, but you got to stick to the actual script, not making him out to be just a ringleader. Because I just think that they're doing too much, and I've called him out on it. And I think that he, there's a lot more going on with that. There's a lot more going on with that. So, but they're trying to use Diddy as the only one involved. That's not funny. That's not even funny. Okay, so we got some more people coming through. So feel free to comment, hit the like. We're gonna see what we got. Keep on talking. Hmm. See everybody coming from today. See what we got. Hmm. I'm hoping it's not so. I'm hoping it's not so. But I can't tell you. I can't tell you definitively that it's not. I'm not gonna lie to you about that because you know, depends on how much you know about the industry. Depends on how much what you didn't taken into tally. A lot of them are like it's pervy worthy. So it really is. I mean, it really is more than you could imagine. It really is because it's a business that's been sold on agendas. So that's the reality of it. And somebody wants to put money on somebody and get them up out of it. There's a reason. There is a reason. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be. Mm, we're just waiting on to see what somebody's got something to say. We'll see. Let's see what we got. We're back. Okay, smoking regimes will tell you. You never know what goes on. I'm gonna let you on a story about that era when they did Ebony Eyes. That's when Smokey, if you bought his book, went through his crack addiction. Did you know that? And Rick was into everything. See, this image that people have is one thing, and then the reality is a whole different animal. So you see people in one way. I remember when Smokey was addicted because he mentioned it 84, 85, and that's when he came up with Just to See Her Again, and he won all those awards 86, 87, and he was flexing. He bulked up because I had never seen nobody who was supposed to be strung out who was flexing like that. He was on flex. Rick James was really starting to really took his toe, but I'd seen it with my own eyes. But I'd seen it like on TV, and something's off though. Well, Rick wasn't hiding what he was doing, but Smokey's thing was crazy though. I still remember it. Had that one heartbeat and all that out. I mean, it was a trip. You never know with these cats. I'm just telling you. That's what's up. Yeah, Ebony Eyes was a huge song. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so just taking in some information. We are coming to you live. Feel free to hit the likes. Feel free to give communication. Hit that poll question. gonna be on for a few more minutes. I'm not. It's not one of those days that kind of like low key. So